Hey listeners, it's me, Shanna Montana. Be sure that you visit our website at www.tobesingleornottobe.com or our social media pages on Instagram and Facebook on Friday, July 3rd as we launch our new collection of apparel and get you ready for the savage summer that's coming soon. We cannot wait for you to get your items and join this movement. So again, visit the website at www.tobesingleornottobe.com where you can sign up for our email list so you can stay up to date on all that we have in store, and be sure you visit us on July 3rd, this Friday, so you can be a part of the movement that we have coming to a screen near you soon. Talk to you guys later and enjoy the episode. You are listening to the podcast To Be Single or Not to Be by Shanna Montana, a podcast where we talk about the single life, dating, and relationships so you can make a decision at the end of each episode to be single or not to be. All righty. So today's topic is the wait. And when we say the wait, what we are talking about is the wait between being single and getting into a relationship and what that looks like. Because we know that as women, before we get into relationships, is a process. Before you are ready to join one, before you're ready to just have another person in your space, there are a lot of things that go into that. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that wait looks like, how you do it successfully, how you manage through it, and how you can come out on the other side when you are ready. And in order to have this conversation, I wanted to bring on some ladies who I know could add some value to it. So up first on today's show, someone who has her own podcast, the Straight to It podcast, we have Miss Nikita. Say hi to the listeners.
What's up, everybody?
And up next, we have Miss T. Erica. Say hello.
Hello.
All right. So ladies, we're going to hop right into it. In regards to your weight, and whoever wants to go first can, how long has your weight been, and has it mainly been intentional, or is this kind of just what life has handed you right now?
So this is Nikita. I have been single I've been single since 2013. So that's about 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
And I haven't been doing the nasty for about 5 years. And that part of it has been intentional. So I guess it's like twofold, so it's going hand in hand. But I'm gonna be honest, I believe it's a blessing. Because it ain't me, it's these niggas.
Right.
Hello.
It's them. You're right. It's these niggas. You're right. So tell us more about that. Like, what made you make that intentional decision to say, I'm going to, save myself, until I'm ready to jump back out there again? Because we know that's not easy to do, So how did you get to that space?
I got to that space because about, in the sex part of it, I got to that space because I just had hit a wall in my life where I was dating somebody for about 8 months, close to a year. And then I found out that they were married.
Woo!
And it tried to take me out. I mean,
I'm sure it rocked your world.
It really like flipped everything upside down because as a woman and just even as a human, right? You never want to feel like somebody played you like that.
Right.
Like I also am not somebody who wants to be with somebody who is partnered with somebody else. Like
right.
You know what I mean? And so God just had to get me together. He was like, hey girl, if you would have slowed down and took your time and got to know him, you would have found these things out. Because, I'm a firm believer that the more you talk to someone that you are maybe potentially interested in, they will tell you everything that you need to know.
Sure will.
Everything that you need to know. And I think for me, I was just, I saw those red flags, but I was like, oh, I'm feeling him. So I just kept going,
Ignored him.
And it was a mistake. But then before that, I was in a long-term relationship back 7 years ago, and it didn't work out because he cheated. And so I just wanted to be more intentional about the type of men that I was allowing into my life. So
allowing into your space, that makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Protecting your peace.
Girl,
so much.
They be trying to snatch it.
They were trying to snap it, break through it, snatch it, break through it, tap into it, all of that. No, it's mine.
It's mine. It belongs to me. So
yes, you cannot have any part of it.
You can't have not nan part of it. And so I'm, it is what it is, and I'm not ashamed of it. And
Right.
when I'm ready to engage in whatever I choose to engage in, I will. But I'm taking my time because I don't want just anything. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah.
As you should. And that's what you have the right to. And I think that's so essential when you are in that waiting process to really find out what it is exactly that you want and then wait for what you want, because you may encounter different men who are on different journeys. Everybody's not going to be in the same space that you are. And so it does take time and that's something I heard. I don't know if you all follow this guy, Derek Jackson on Instagram. And not saying that he doesn't get it all, he doesn't get it right every time, but he does put some good information out there. And something I heard him say on one of his posts was that the wait, unfortunately, for women who are willing to wait for what exactly they want, it can be lonely and it can take a long time. And I think, and of course, that's something we're going to tap into later in the conversation. But I think that you have to recognize that, yeah, it may be lonely, but I can find other and more productive things to fill in that space than a man.
Okay.
Just to say I have one. So I think it's so essential what you talked about in regards to knowing what you want, waiting for it, choosing to make a conscious decision that I'm not going to have sex with somebody that's not on the same page that I am. And I think that's a page from your book that many people can take from if they choose to. So I would say, T. Erica, what has gotten you to, what's your story at this point?
Yes, so my last relationship that was mine, that we was exclusive, was 10 years ago. So it's a high school boyfriend. So I'm 28, okay. So I want to give you context. So that's my 18-year-old self. And then, of course, you pursuing your studies and you focus on that. And then my most recent, I guess, involvement was 3 years ago. And so my experience has been intentional. I know that I'm rare. Rare is I'm not having sex, so I'm abstaining until I feel like I have that emotional connection, and I feel safe and secure with somebody. And I think that can alter certain things, especially if sex is important to a guy in a relationship. And I'm the one, I value relationships. I'm not just going to jump in and just to say off the strength of I have someone.
Yeah, to say I got a man.
Right. And it's one of those things like I deeply desire, but I'm not desperate for one. Like I don't need to be in and out and moving around the hustle and bustle of just being with people. And so that's kind of been my journey, is that, it's been 10 years, 3 involved with somebody. But ultimately I'm just abstaining. So it's been intentional because I was just focused on studies at that time in my early 20s, mid-20s. And now that I'm on the later end of my 20s, I am open to date. I want to be able to have those experiences, but at what cost, right? And so I think that during this wait period, I'm just really focused. I was really just focusing, honing in on me, but I am open to that experience right now. But it also has been by circumstance too that I'm single. I think that like where you are geographically matters. I'm in a space where there's not a lot of brothers. So geographically, and ultimately just chemistry, I haven't found that connection where I'm like, oh man, this is somebody I want to go and be in a relationship with, because our values don't align. And so when my values don't align with something, I'm not gonna invest in it. So that's been my experience.
And that makes sense. It makes perfect sense if your values don't align to not invest in, because so many people tend to, I would say, I'm not going to put it all on women because men do it too, but we tend to get involved with somebody and we think we can change them. And we all know that a grown person not going to do nothing that they don't want to do.
Not a damn, nope.
Not nothing they don't want to do. And grown people, my other philosophy is grown people make time for the things they want to make time for. So that goes hand in hand. If you don't want to, they're not going to make time to make changes on themselves if they don't want to. And there's nothing we can do to make them do it.
It's nothing we can do.
Nothing at all. So what has, during this time of the wait, what has it really taught you about yourself? What has been the biggest lessons that you're taking from these moments that you are in right now?
I think for me, it has just taught me the value of me, right? Like society has socialized women to think that we need all of these other things to make us this grandiose woman. But everything you need is already inside of you. Like, absolutely. I have been, going to therapy for the last couple of years, and it has really helped, and I just have found that, outside of, God loving me, loving myself, that's the next best thing for me, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm truly in a space where I love myself and I can say that and mean it versus 5 years ago, I could have said it, but I might not have meant it. You feel me? Because I
was not understood it.
Right. Or because I was constantly putting myself in situations that weren't, enhancing who I was as a person, or, just when you know better, you do better. And so I'm doing better. And so for me, it has just taught me that self-love is truly the best love. Like, if you are not at peace with yourself, if you cannot enjoy your own company, how the hell do you expect for somebody else to come into your life? As a woman, I just feel like women, we are so much more than somebody's partner, somebody's wife, somebody's mom. And so for me, that's what it has taught me. Self-love is the best love. And I am so happy that I'm in this place. It took a while to get here, but now that I'm here, nobody can take that away from me. And I'm not going to let or allow anybody to take that away from me.
Then that's what it's all about, trying, because people going to try to take it away from you.
Do you want a real quick story, real quick?
Yeah, I do story time. Let's go.
So, you know what? So recently, I was, engaging in getting to know somebody, and basically the person was just like, oh, well, I'm still dealing with my ex. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And they was like, well, do you have any questions? I said, no, I don't. And they were just like, that's it. I'm like, that's it.
Because this is it. Like Michael Jackson. This is it.
This is it. Like, my whole thing is, I'm not going to give you that type of energy, right? Because I'm good. I'm not that desperate to be dealing with a nigga that's dealing with multiple people. Like, if this ain't where you trying to be at, that's fine. Goodbye.
That's fine. Move on. Be blessed.
Yeah, and
I ain't gonna lose no rest.
Not at all.
Listen, baby, went to sleep and had a full 8 hours and woke
up.
I
said, thank you for your time.
You better tell I slept like a starfish in my bed.
So, I mean, I don't know. I just think for me, Nikita is Nikita's best friend, and I love myself, and I'm good.
And that's what it comes down to. And you have to protect that at all costs, because people, one thing about it is, with you being in the space that you're in, I'm sure you give off good energy to guys that you meet, and they enjoy that, and they like your energy. They want to be around it. But you will not come into my space and mess up this energy with your foolishness. So for you to, be open enough to want to share with me that you still dealing with your ex, or you still dealing with whatever, great. Thank you. This is it. It's over with. Like, I'm not gonna allow you to come in and mess up this piece that I have going on, because your world is chaotic, because that's chaos. If you are choosing,
and
God,
to, and who don't operate in that? Jesus, God.
Yeah, right.
The art of confusion. You better let them know.
And I'm God's daughter, so I don't operate in it either. So you better know it. So what would you say, Tierica? What are you learning about yourself during this time?
So similar to Nikita, like, I am just in awe of me and like the woman God has created me to be. Like, I love me some Tierica, okay?
Yeah.
And alongside that, I've learned how to cultivate relationships well, and like really love the people that God has bestowed in my life. So just loving people well. So if I know how to love a friend well, my family well, in this season of my life, and all the things that I'm going to learn with them, because you can learn in those relationships too. And I can carry that into my romantic relationship. And so I'm just learning how to cultivate meaningful and rich, and really be present in those relationships. And take what I can to make them applicable to when I have my partner. So just loving myself very deeply, and trying to invest in the people around me right now and appreciate those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that I talked about on a previous episode. One of our guests said that, and I loved it, and I take this forward with me. She said, it's all about, when you love yourself, that's something you have to teach yourself as you go through life. And whether that comes from teaching through therapy, experiences, whatever it may be. But then you love yourself, you make sure your personal love tank is full. And then whatever you have left over is what you give to other people. And I think that's what these men have to understand. I love myself more than I love you, especially when I'm just meeting you. So it's no way I'm going to come in and let you rock my world to the core when you may not be about shit. So it's like, I'm not going to play that game, not with my emotions, my life, my whatever, because ultimately I tell men, I've told a man this before, when you are playing games with a woman, you are playing with that woman's life, not in a sense of, I'm about to go and kill myself, but in a sense of my emotions, my mental health, my emotional health, all those things. It's a real thing that you are doing. So you are playing with a piece of my life when you want to play with me, and nobody has time for that. So do you all think that, right now, this has been like the best choice for you to be single at this point in your life, or are you like ready to jump into a relationship?
I would say, go ahead, Tierra. Go ahead.
I would say that this has been the best decision. I think it's just the opportunity to just focus on what you are passionate about, and you don't have your emotional layers are not spread, right?
Ooh,
so I can just be like, okay, I can invest in my work, I can invest in my students or my family, but if I choose to entertain something, that's by choice. I don't think that I have to have this relationship right now because I'm on a journey. Like I've mentioned before, like just chasing wholeness and not perfection, but like making sure that I'm whole during this season. And it's just a beautiful opportunity to see like where you grow personally before you can invest in something in someone else. And so I think that this has been the best decision for me. Like I love having my own date nights and burning my candles and doing all the things that I allow me to be selfish with me. Because when I'm in a relationship or I'm somebody's mom, there's no retracting, right? Like once you get married, you can't go back and undo it. Once you become somebody's mother, that's a lifetime commitment.
Yeah,
and
lifetime.
So I think right now I'm just cherishing this time, and I'm not trying to skip this season, like this chapter in my book. I'm only 28. There's a lot more life. So with that, it's only been 10 years that you technically been on your own. And then if you put it in hindsight, it's really like 5, because post-college is like, you know what I'm saying?
You still finding yourself, you figuring stuff out.
Absolutely. And so I think that it has been the best decision for me. I'm still young. I'm still discovering. Do I desire it? Absolutely. Am I available for it? Absolutely. I'm not closed off and saying like, oh, I don't want to date. I don't want to do this thing. But in the process, I'm just honing in onto who I am.
Right. Absolutely. And that's most important. So what would you say in regards for you, Nikita?
I think for me, best choice, I think it is what it is right now. I think for me, what I have had to come to terms with is that you can't rush past the seasons of your life, right? Especially if you are saying, I believe in Jesus and I believe in God and all those things. You don't want to rush through one season and miss what it is that you're supposed to get, And I think for me, it's just like, this is the season that I'm in. So I'm learning how to just really, again, self-love is the best love, but I'm learning how to just embrace this single thing, right? Because sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I really want partnership, but then I get anxious on the flip side of it because I'm like, will I still be able to do the things that I want to do when I want to do them? I'm very ambitious, and so for me, it's like I'll just be transparent. I weigh the pros and cons of it, right? Like, is that really what I want, or do I want that because that's what society says you should want? And it's like, if I don't want that, I don't want it. And similar to Tierra, if somebody, I'm open to it. 5 years ago I was not open to it. I'm open to it now. But it has to be with the right person that's in alignment with what God has planned for my life. Like, I truly don't want a man to walk into my life and shift certain things, specifically as it pertains to like my ambitions and my dreams and stuff like that, right? Because the wrong relationship, it can ruin your life.
It will
can ruin your life. And people were like, that's so deep, but it's very deep.
It's deep and true.
You look at the relationships in the Bible. Samson and Delilah, he got with that woman, he told her his secret, and she ended up getting him killed. Chris Brown and Rihanna, that domestic violence situation, and then,
it knocked him off his career for a while. Fortunately, he was talented enough to come back from it. But it happened.
The wrong relationship can just really ruin your life. And so for me, I'm just embracing this whole singleness thing and changing the narrative, right? Because we know they demonize and make Black women specifically feel that you're less than if you're not married. So I'm here to say that that's some bullshit. I am still great. even if I don't have a partner. So
because if you look at society,
you can still live a full
full life.
Yes.
And I've had people literally, I can't remember where I saw it, but they pointed out, you know, even in corporate America, when you try to, you know, whether it be you're at a networking event or talking to people, immediately, you know, people want to know, you know, so who's your husband? What does he do? This and that. And if you don't have one, it's almost like, oh, well, you aren't complete enough to, you know, reach that next level or whatever you're supposed to have in life based on your relationship status. But so you're absolutely right in that sense. But I think we have to just be mindful that, you know, when that relationship is supposed to happen, it will happen. We can't yearn for it a minute sooner than when it's supposed to come, because that is how you wind up being with the wrong person. But something that you mentioned that stood out to me, you said sometimes it does, is you may get anxious about those things. What would you say like triggers that anxiousness sometimes in regards to wanting a relationship?
I think for me, just transparently, I love all of the amazing, you know, women in my life, my homegirls, my girlfriends, you know, best friend. But when you start feeling like it's like musical chairs, right? Like everybody walking around trying to find the right chair, and then you look up and you're the only one standing. So like a lot of my close friends,
that's good.
They are, you know, in committed relationships. They're engaged. They're getting married. My best friend will be getting married in October. I'm the maid of honor, you know. So it's just like starting to feel
so like, say always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Right. And it's like, oh my God, I'm becoming the single friend. And then y'all, this is so funny. I went to the grocery store. I'm 5'4", right? I love skinny pop popcorn. So the flavor that I wanted was on the top shelf. Y'all, I could not reach that. In my mind, I was like, see, this is that bullshit I'm talking about. If I had a man, he'll be able to reach his hand up there and get that.
But see, no, you might get a man that's 5'4", and then what?
Yeah, you're right. We might still have to call somebody to come get the popcorn.
Then y'all got to do like people do me, because I'm 5'11". They asked me, can you ma'am, can you hand me that up here?
But I mean, it's just those things, like, you know, or like if my homegirls, they all go out and they invite they partners. Yeah. And then they take a picture and everybody got a man, and I'm the one on the end looking like, you know, that little meme where it's like everybody booed up and you the friend at the end. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Or you the friend that's like, well, let me just take the picture. So I ain't
let me take the picture so I ain't even gotta be in it. And so those things are triggering, but honestly, I am encouraged by some of the relationships that I'm you know, blessed enough to be a witness to. And so I'm like, you know, Lord, if you can do it for them, I know you'll do it for me. And I just have to continue to tell myself it's going to happen when it's supposed to. And, you know, manifesting is a real thing. You know, you pray about it and let things come to you, right? Yeah. Because at this point, I refuse to let the fact that I'm single be a reason why I don't live my life. So
yeah, absolutely. You cannot allow it to slow you down from doing anything.
Nothing.
So what would you say, Tierica? Like, what does anything make you anxious or trigger something in you in certain moments?
Yeah, so I am a big hopeless romantic. Like,
stop watching Disney movies.
Somebody's son on on Instagram, I be scrolling through like, oh, they just so cute, they so beautiful. Or I'm watching Black Love and just really being immersed in those conversations or in that content of love, because I'm just such a love guru. And so in that, as much as I love, I'm like, man, sometimes I'm like, oh, what would I get to that space? Would this happen for me? What does that look like? How did they even get there? Like, is it a roadmap to this? Is it a blueprint? Because let me know so I can go ahead and get that. But so some of those things trigger what I watch, what I read. It can be a triggering thing. But similar to Nikita, I've just shifted my mindset to say I'm going to celebrate love. Like, I love. I was on a Zoom wedding last night. Like, this is great. Like, people are making things happen. And I want to be a part of the process because God has called us to love, and that's something that I deeply desire. Right. And so I am the single friend, and so being encouraged and celebrating my friends in the midst of, and don't retract when those conversations come up. But more so engage and say, tell me more about it. Like, I can learn a lot from my friends right now through some of their situations, some of their trials, that I won't have to make the same errors. Like, some of the things that they're going through, they're teaching me. And it's some things that I can avoid because I'm paying attention. And not saying that every relationship will be the same, but you can learn from those, from my friendships and other people's situations. And so, yeah, content is what has triggered me.
You got to stop watching them Disney movies.
You got to, girl.
Girl,
You gonna be crying. You gonna be in your feelings.
Girl, you be like, wait, do I got how many more frogs? So I got to kiss? Because Lord, I don't want to kiss no more.
I get it. And it's like you do have to be, it's true that you have to be mindful of what you intake around you. Like even settings you go into, things that you watch, things that you read, especially social media, because what it can cause you to do is end up thinking like, okay, either I'm left behind or I need to catch up, or I just love so much that the next person that comes around, I'm jumping out the window with them because I want, what I quote unquote think that everybody else has. But of course, we're on the outside looking in. So you have to be mindful of it. So, this leads me to talk about, have you all heard of the term serial dater?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And, so in your mind, I know as far as what I received the definition as was a serial dater is somebody who basically, I don't know if y'all remember this, but back on Saved by the Bell, the TV show, when Kelly Kapowski was dating Zach, and then she started dating this other, like the new guy, I can't remember his name because he wasn't a huge significant character, but she basically was openly like going out on dates with both of them. And it was like, she was pretty much like, I'm not in a relationship with either of you. So it leads me to things like that. Like I'm going on multiple dates with people. I'm not committed to anybody. I'm open and honest about it. But it allows me to be in a space where, if I eventually decide to jump out the window and be with somebody, I can on my own terms. So do you all believe in that? Or what do you think about serial dating?
I think that, sis, if you got that basket, put all them eggs. Don't put all them eggs in that basket.
Okay.
Date them all, huh? She like, date them all. Date everybody.
Yeah.
If it's a dozen eggs, date all 12 of them.
I just think, and I am somebody who, I don't like exerting all this energy in different directions, but I don't think it's anything wrong with, dating multiple people, talking to multiple people, because I think that is where I believe Black women, sometimes we go wrong. Like we give all this attention and this time to this one person only to find out that the man is, he out here having a field day.
Having a field day.
You one of 20 or one of 10 or one of 50. You know what I mean? Just keeping it 100. And so I just think there is nothing wrong. I think dating is an evaluation process anyway.
Yeah.
So why not, go and get to know people? And it kind of just helps you have a focal point on, this is what I want. This is what I don't want, And so I think serial dating, I think it's a derogatory term, but I think you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. It's okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm not against it. I just haven't indulged in it to be like, I'm going to talk to a couple of people. But I think if that's what your prerogative is, do it. Like, if that's what's going to get you to love, like, absolutely do it. But I just haven't arrived there yet. But I may have to. I have to get on board.
Yeah.
And I also think it's just about being honest, because that's the issue. Men tend to have women thinking that they the only one, but it's like, until you have that conversation to be like, this is what we're doing, we're exclusive, then you need to just assume off rip, like, you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. And what Drake said, you're not the only one trying to be the only one.
Yeah.
And I think you have to move accordingly. We tend to, even if we're dealing with somebody for an extended period of time, we cannot assume that we're the only one if you have not had that exclusivity conversation.
Yeah.
To make
sure. He for the streets, sis. He
for the streets. Savage Summer coming soon.
Come on, Savage Summer. It just takes so much energy, though. I be like, how do they have the energy in the
Let me tell you why. Because
tell us why.
They got good multitasking skills, because
no, they have good multitasking skills when it's convenient for them. These niggas gonna always be niggas. And if you give them the opportunity to have multiple women, that's what they gonna do. Now, it's not every last one of them, but for some of them, it's an ego trip. You know what I mean? And it's more about, I can get this one, I can get that one, because they are not in one with themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my take on that.
Oh, that's
absolutely. Yeah, and it is. It's what they put in the time. They multitask with the people they want to, but you have to understand it's different levels to the multitasking, because some people gonna get more time than others. Some people gonna get more face time than others. Some people gonna get more energy than others. So it really just matters. Like it comes down to where you fall on the totem pole, and do you really want to be the woman that's on a totem pole for them to choose from? No, it's like no. So I'll continue to sit in my weight if that's what the options are.
Because sometimes that's the best option. You ain't out here getting your feelings hurt.
Ooh.
And folks ain't out here just having you as a casualty. And people think that your heart is for fun and games. Like, it's not like Nikita said earlier, a bad relationship could take you down and through there. So if I'd rather wait than to have to deal with these men and all stroking their ego and playing around in these streets, I'll wait.
Then I don't want no parts of it. Now, I do want to ask you that. You mentioned something. So for the listeners that don't know, we did do this episode before and we had to come back to it for for technical difficulty reasons. And Tierica mentioned something to us that, her thoughts and on some of this conversation had changed in the past week. So I want you to tell us at this point a little bit more about that.
Oh, that was
Nikita.
Nikita. Okay, y'all sound so much alike. Well, tell us a little bit more about it.
So I just think like it goes back to that story I was telling about this guy I had met, and my little dating life low key had got to popping during this little quarantine, because I mean all you can do is really get creative and things like that, and then come to find out he gave all this time, but he was really giving time to his ex too. So my whole thing is this black woman here, I ain't got nothing else for these niggas. Either you gonna come and you gonna be your authentic and genuine self, or you can just stay the hell away from me, right? Like, I'm not gonna give you that type of energy, because I really believe when he was, being honest with me and he apologized, he kept saying, that's it. Like, I think he was waiting for me to like go off on him, cuss him out, and I could have very well done that, right? Like, I could have just spazzed out on him. But here's the thing, I'm gonna be all right, okay?
Yeah,
like
we all be all right.
I'm gonna be okay. And my life is going to go on. I'm still a dope ass black woman, whether you want to continue to entertain me or not. And so my perspective is, if I got to wait, I'm going to wait. And that's just the bottom line, because I refuse to let a man come into my life and ruin my life.
Yeah, and ruin my life, because that's what the fuck they will do.
And it's not every single man, right? But like the vast majority of men, black men, just, it's like it's all fun and games, and it's like black women are for grown-ups. That's a t-shirt. I saw that t-shirt on Instagram. Black women
I need to go back at it.
Black women are for grown ass men. And so if you are not trying to be grown, then you just need to stay where the hell you at. Leave grown women alone. Leave us alone.
Grown women alone. If you're not a grown man, leave grown women alone. Yeah, you go to the playground. Leave us alone.
Go back to the little sandbox and get your the little bucket and your little thing. Just do what you do, bro.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do. So yeah, I love that. So what would you all say? Because love is a fickle thing anyway.
It's fickle.
And, do you all think that we are really even in control of when love happens? Like, what role do we even play in it?
Oh, that's deep.
That is deep.
Because it's one of those things that I'm like, we have a innate desire to have people around in our lives on that level, that capacity. But we are waiting so we can get the person that we want to, put the work in with, because relationships are work. But do we play a role when love happens, or do we have to just let the universe hand it to us when it's ready?
I think it does. I think we have to do our part when it comes to love. And when I say our part, I mean, what is our posture towards it? Are we ready for it? Are we discussing it? Are we manifesting it? And sometimes what I've encountered with black women is that they say that they're ready, but their posture is completely off. Like, they're not in the space to receive it. Even if it was right in front of them. And so I think that we have to take an active role and say, you know what? Does my family and friends know, 1, that I'm single, 2, that I'm available, 3, that these are the things I'm looking for, so they can 2 be active participants and saying, you know what, I want to help you on your journey, because I'm trying to make sure all my friends is off the market with somebody of substance. And so I think that we play the role in praying for it, manifesting, asking God, that make a request to him. But also tell our family and friends that this is something that we desire, because we don't give ourselves permission. We just talk about it amongst, like, okay, Tierica, I know you want to be with somebody, but like, give it some air, give it some life, and speak life over it. So I think that we do, to a certain degree, alongside God, can step into that. But I only want it on his time. I don't want any premature blessings. Let me just be real frank. Like, don't give me nothing I can't handle, I ain't ready for, let alone this man, because when I step into it, he needs to be ready to receive the love that I'm gonna give.
Absolutely.
I agree. I don't think we can really control that. I think at the minimum, you just, like Tierica said, can do your part. And in doing your part, also maybe, really learning what does love mean to you, right? Like unlearning some of the things that, because a lot of us, we trying to mimic some of the things that we've seen, right? And who's to say that those things are healthy? So just really taking the time to do your own self-work, and because I think that's where a lot of us go wrong. We get into these relationships or partnerships with these men, and we expecting for them to complete these different areas of our life, and it's like, no, you want a man, you don't need one.
You don't
know
need
what I'm
it.
saying? And I know the Bible talks about it's not good for man to be alone, but when I think of it in the context of somebody being a complement to your life, an asset and not a liability. And so I just think at the very best, you can only become your best self, and then as you continue to do that in all facets, then you will attract those things, and sometimes no, you still will attract,
the peons.
Yes, the niggas.
The flags,
okay, but
the niggas,
at the very least, there will be somebody that's like, wow, I see her. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think we just have to do our part and keep it moving. I don't think we can rush that thing. I mean, you can go out here and get on Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Bumble, all that, but just let it happen organically. Stay in the present.
Yeah, I agree, because I've been guilty of being on all the apps and it got me nowhere real fast. So. Now, do you all feel pressure to be in relationships? Like, does anybody put that on you or from yourself?
My parents, this is Nikita, sorry. My parents, I love them. So if they listen to this episode, I love y'all. I really do. But like sometimes they say certain things that make me feel like, dang, I need to try to figure out what's going on with my dating life. But my sister just recently closed on her house, and my dad had made the comment like, she buying a house, she supposed to do that when she get a husband. And I'm like, no, she can do that now because that's what she wants to do.
Because gender roles have changed.
Right. And so I just think sometimes I do get triggered by some of the things that, family members, parents say, but I'm not bringing just anybody to my parents just for the sake of them to feel like, oh, my daughter getting married, I got a son-in-law, because I know my daddy will kill one of these niggas if I get with the wrong one.
Yeah. For his sake and mine, I got to choose the right one.
I got to choose the right one. And so I just think when they get to talking like that, I really try to talk through that with my parents to get them to understand my perspective, because I get their perspective. Like they want to see their daughter being loved and taken care of and all those things. But like Tierra said earlier, but at what cost? Because I told my daddy, these men, they not built like you. They not you.
You all are not the same.
Y'all, Bob the Builder is building them, because I don't know. I don't know what. Child, let me.
So that's where
what
my
would you say
is coming from.
What would you say realize like brings the pressure for you, if any?
I think honestly, I don't necessarily feel the pressure. I think my family and friends look forward to that. They like, you a great person. Like, when is gonna find her? And so I don't necessarily feel the pressure. I remember having a conversation with my mom a few months ago, and I was just like, Mom, what happens if I never give you grandkids? Or like, what happens if I don't happen to get married? She'd be like, she's like, that's fine. Like, because I've seen you live life so well and so full. So like, if it doesn't happen, like, baby girl, you'll be good. But do I want it for you? Absolutely. Do I see it for you? Absolutely. And so I think my mom specifically is just like, girl, you only 28. Like, you got a lot more life to live. And don't get distracted trying to get wrapped up into a relationship too soon.
Yeah.
And so I think my people are just looking forward to it, but I don't necessarily feel the pressure. Sometimes I put pressure on myself to be like, dang, like, it's at this point where I want to share my accomplishments. I want to be emotionally naked with somebody after a long day at work. Like, I want, instead of calling my girlfriends and my best friends, like, what would it mean to have somebody to come home to just to give me a hug because it's been a long ass day, And so I think I have that pressure a little bit of
that's
myself.
That hopeless romantic in you.
It's right. Romantic in me, absolutely. And so, but I don't necessarily feel this ton of pressure. But every now and then, I think it's like a quarterly thing. Like every 4 months in the year, I'm just like, oh, Lord, okay, all right. But I feel like I'm about 85% content in my singleness, and that's why I always say, like, just chasing that wholeness, because you will never be 100%. Like, you're gonna always be anxious a little bit to what love could potentially look like. So pressure, no. Looking forward to, absolutely.
Good. And I think that resonates with me more in regards to like the pressure of people, not really pressure, but people just saying like, you're a good person, you're a good woman, you have a lot going for yourself, that you would make like a good wife. And I'm like, I know I would, but
right.
I'm like,
that's right.
Thank you for the affirmations.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm not going to, excuse me, I'm not going to rush and jump into something for somebody that, if I'm all of these things that I know myself to be, I'm not going to jump into something with somebody that I know is not worthy or ready or has the qualities that I want and need. So it's like, I'm better off just staying where I am until Mr. Right comes along versus, Mr. Right now,
Okay.
So during this time, like right now with what is dating like for you right now in this waiting season?
I said, go. Okay. This is Nikita. I'm just talking to different people, just having conversations, because I just believe the more you talk to somebody, and that's really all we can do at this point anyway, the more you will learn. And for me, I am a woman that you have to be able to have some type of conversation of substance. So if I can talk to you and figure out, like what's important to you, what are your values, that'll let me know if I'm even really trying to date you for real.
Right.
But I mean, that one situation just recently ended, but I'm not tripping because I mean, you miss one, next 15, another one coming, right?
Next 15, another one coming.
And so for me, I'm talking to people because like I said, my life is going to continue to go. And, if somebody comes along and I feel like I'm trying to like get it popping for real, then I will. But I mean, dating, it's cool. It's cool right now.
What about you, Tierica?
I think I'm just like slowly creeping up on the dating scene. I talk to people, exchange numbers, but it hasn't led to anything of substance. And so I'm just also trying to like practice discernment in there. Like, if I even want to entertain these niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Because I just don't, my tolerance, I'd be like, can we go deeper? Like, I'm tired of what you're doing, where you at, like, good morning. Like, that's surface level to me. And I'm a very emotional person. I need emotional connections and chemistry. I want to know, like, well, why your favorite color red? Tell me why. Like, like, I want to go the extra layer. But it also comes with like what type of work I do. Like, we go deeper in questions with students. And so I think for me, I'm just like, I'm open to it. I've talked to people, but nothing deeper than a casual conversation. And so I would say I'm open to it. I'm ready for it, but I ain't rushing it.
I get it. And now that you all are in that space, you are dating, you're trying to see what happens, since it's not physically a person there, what do you do to fill your love tank right now? Because, like if people who are familiar with the love languages, you have quality time, physical touch, I think it's acts of service. What's the other one? Gifts. And so physical touch, quality time, acts of service,
words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. So I know like mine is quality time. Like I enjoy spending time with people like a partner, but I know for me now, not being in a relationship, I spend time with friends, family, things like that. So what do you all do to fill your love tank during this time since you don't have a full-time partner?
This is Nikita. My love language is words of affirmation. That's my top one. So it makes sense to me why I really like to have conversations with people. And I'm also a writer. So like for me, that's what I want to pursue full time. I feel like that's my calling and all those things. And so I do a lot of writing, finding different writing opportunities that I can, write as a Black woman. I love to paint, you know what I mean? So like, but yeah, we're stuck in the house most of the time, but like I will go to the park and go on a picnic by myself. Because before I was like, oh, I want a man to take me on a picnic, and then during this quarantine, I was like, girl, you can take yourself on one. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just, continuing to do the things that I love. But writing is definitely one of them, and I really love having, like Tierica said, having those conversations that are layered, and have substance. And if I can talk to you for hours upon hours, then I mean that is a key indicator that, you know, you might be it, you know. So for me, it's just been writing. That's my love language. That's actually my name on Twitter. Writing is my love language. But
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
I have been reading, like I love to read, burning these candles, taking myself on dates. Like I think 26 taught me like to date myself.
Okay.
Like I really wanted to go horseback riding, and I was just like, I ain't waiting on. That was like my dream date, y'all. Right?
Yeah.
My birthday this year, I was like, girl, you going by yourself. And guess what?
Make it
I
happen.
made it happen. And so I think just being in the presence of myself is enough. Because I'm like, when people leave, if I ever be heartbroken, or if this relationship don't work out, or this situation, whatever it may be, like, as long as I am at peace with Tierica and I accept all the parts of her. So I think the road to self-discovery right now has been fun. So like my self-help books, just reading, being in good relationship with my sister circle. Like, girl, let's talk about this. Taking myself on dates, playing in my closet. I would dress up and be like, girl, you cute, just for no reason.
Yeah.
And being an auntie is very fulfilling. So I don't have to take on the mother duties, but I know I can get a taste of what it means to care for somebody. So just trying to be like the best auntie I can be has been really fun. So those are some of the things. And just honestly, you know, perfecting my craft with my work. Like, I really love what I do professionally. And so I think just continuing to find ways to enhance different skills about myself.
Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to. And do you all think that, you know, since we are in this season, do you agree, or do you think that being single sometimes is the best time of your life for various reasons?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's twofold, right? Like, it's okay to yearn for like companionship, partnership. You human. God gave us that desire. But I can honestly say especially like since I turned 30, I'll be 34 in September. My 30s have been the best time of my life. And I think it's just because I am more in tune with who I am as a person. You know, I'm more confident as a woman. You know, I'm sexy. You know, I'm all these different things. You know, and I have been having the time of my life, and especially when I think about the personal goals that I've wanted. I have achieved a lot of those, right?
Yeah.
And it's been so much fun. You know, I'm able to go on trips with friends and just do all these different things and have these new experiences. And that's the part where I was saying earlier, I get anxious when I'm thinking like, okay, if he was to come into my life tomorrow, will I have to give that up? There's just a certain level of freedom that I have become accustomed to that I'm nervous to give up.
Oh, like,
I don't want to be
freedom.
I don't want to feel confined. You know, I still want to be free. Like I need to, if I get into a relationship, I have to still feel like it's okay for me to be free and have my own life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my identity can't be rooted in my relationship. So I've been having a ball.
That's wonderful, because that's the thing I desire the most when I get in a relationship. The freedom that we have now as a single person, not saying I want to be free like to talk to other men, but once I get in a relationship, I still want to feel free. Yeah. I still want to feel like I can be myself and do the things I enjoy doing and not have a restriction just because I have a partner. So that is absolutely amazing. So Tierica, what would you say about that?
I think that singleness is great for me. What I think the listeners definitely, I want to say this to them, is that God blesses singleness just as well as he blesses marriage. And he honors those things, and he values those ministries. They have a single ministry just like they got a marriage ministries. And so there's no one over the other. And so what he can do with your singleness, like, you can do so much and achieve so much.
Absolutely.
Just in that season alone. And so I want to give our listeners permission and the ability to tap into, like, singleness is not a bad thing. It's not at all. It's not the end of the world. But know that God honors your singleness too. And it's important to ask yourself, what am I doing in my singleness? Yeah. Like, how am I cultivating this experience? How I'm crafting this experience that I want to live a very full life right now? Yeah. And knowing that marriage is great, but that doesn't take away from the greatness of singleness either. And I think sometimes people try to compare the two when there's no competition. like
yes,
none whatsoever. And so the grass is not always green on the other side. It's married people that want to be single, and there's single people that want to be married. But it's like, where can you find happiness and joy? Joy is a constant thing. Happiness can alter. And so how do you find joy in singleness just as well as marriage? And so I think for me, I have just found the joy in being single. And I look forward to the joy in marriage, but singleness doesn't take me or remove my value or my worth. I'm not less valued. That's what I want to say is God doesn't see me as less value, or any other of my other single brothers and sisters that's listening. Like, it doesn't make you less valuable because you're not attached to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And so just look, singleness, it has been good to me. And I love the freedom, like Nikita said, and I'm thankful for the freedom. Like, you have to be grateful for this season. Like, God wants us to be like, you know what, God, I am thankful to be able to travel, to be able to save the amount of money I save, to be able to be in my profession. And so I don't think I could have achieved those things, not in this part of my life, if I would have been attached to somebody else, trying to love them well, when I was ultimately discovering what love meant for me. And now that I know what that looks like, I'm not self-sacrificing myself just to say I'm with somebody. They're gonna have to match, they're gonna have to measure up, they're gonna have to do their part.
You're going to have to get called to the carpet and make sure you meet these requirements.
Okay. I know my worth, I know what I'm bringing, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but what I'm saying is that, like, every day it's a process. And I want somebody that's in alignment with me, but ultimately in alignment with God. Because if you're in alignment with God, we can work this thing. We can work through anything.
Hello, somebody.
Hello, so, amen. Where's the collection plate?
Yes.
I'm just trying to give you the real, and I think that that's an important conversation, that Black women, we may have to wait a little longer if we want a God ordained relationship. Like, I want God in the middle of my stuff, because when shit get haywire, like, that's who
you running to. You got to run to Jesus. Because I always say, when you stand before the pastor anyway at a marriage, like, these vows you take, you're not taking them to me, you taking them to God.
Period.
And I want you to take it that seriously, because if you don't take that seriously, then it's no way I can't even worry about you cheating or doing anything else. Because if you don't give a damn about the vow you made to God, I know you don't give a damn about me.
Let me tell you, and if you ain't got the fear of the Lord in your heart, that means, baby, you out here, you out here running with the devil.
Yeah. You living on edge.
Right. And with that, I just had a really good conversation with one of my guy friends who is married, and we were just talking through, like, relationship things, and I was like, how did you get that, Glenn? Like, you know, just asking him, like, how did you get to where you were at? He was just like, you know, because I was always telling him, like, I need a man that have some, like, I need to know that he's a believer and also has an active faith. And so he was like, tell me about what active faith mean. And I was just like, just the active faith and the desire to grow deeper in God. And most Black men, they don't get there yet. Like, Black women, we're like the armor of all these things, like trying to grow deeper and understand the layers of God. But Black men don't arrive there that soon. He was just like, see, you can find a believer, like, you can have a man that's a believer, but ultimately, like, because your power and your belief in God can ultimately help push him to grow deep, because he may not have experienced a woman that is as serious about you, and they can play and they can do all these things with other women. But when they encounter you, it's like, oh, they ain't got no choice. Either I'm gonna get with it or get lost. Not saying they gotta be in church every Sunday, but that's great if you do, because that's something that my future family, I want to be able to, like, when I envision family, I envision us, you know, let's go over these scriptures and what scripture is gonna be applicable to our family and how do we lead our family.
Right. So, you can lead in that way.
Absolutely. So in short, what I've taken from one of my really good male friends is him saying, like, they may not be where you are at spiritually, but if you find a man that believes and he's willing to go there and go deeper, like, give that an opportunity. And I was like, absolutely, because I ain't asking to be perfect. Because it's times I'd be like, oh, Lord, I don't even know where we stand right now.
Yep. And so that's why you have to, it makes sense for you. If you can find a man who's clear about that and having that same desire, then you'll know where you stand at all times. You know, that makes perfect sense. So what would you all say in regards to, you know, everything that we are talking about, just like for the resolution? I'm going to do this just a little bit differently. How do we continue to handle our quote unquote weight in a positive way until love comes along, for the listeners? Like, how do you stay positive during this time and not veer off from what it is that you know you want and desire and deserve?
This is Nikita. I would just say wait and wait well. Okay. Like, don't put your life on pause because you're in a season of singleness.
Yeah.
You know, wait and wait well. What are the things that you are passionate about? What is that passion project that you've been waiting to do? What are some of the things that, you know, bring you joy, right? Like Black people just in general, they trying to take our joy. So what are the things that bring you joy? I would say just stay positive and know that you can wait and wait well. Your life does not stop because you are not partnered. You can
Yeah.
still have a full life. And I would just say enjoy that journey, because when it's over, it's over.
It's over.
And you can't go back. You know, like enjoy it, embrace it. When you have those challenges, pray about it, journal, meditate, but ultimately wait and wait well.
Yeah. I love that. Wait and wait
That's
well.
good. For me, this is Tierica. I would say shifting perspective. So what does it mean to have a fixed mindset and a growth mindset? And fixed mindset allows us sometimes to sit in the I don't knows, or it ain't another good Black brothers out there. These niggas ain't nothing. So or my family telling me that you gonna end up single like all the other Black people, Black women in corporate America, versus like a growth mindset and saying, you know what, God, you are not the author of confusion. You made plenty of men out here and one of them plenty gonna love me well. And so going from a very fixed mindset to a growth mindset and growing in yourself, like taking this opportunity to grow your own mindset during this time. And so I think just shifting perspective of how we see dating, how we see love, the words that we're saying, because power and death is in the life in the tongue. And so what are we speaking in our friendships and in our conversations and in our circles? And so I think just shifting from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset, like how can you continue to grow personally, and then also what is your mindset around dating?
I love that. I love the fixed mindset and growth mindset, because we do have a lot of things that are thrown at us and a lot of beliefs that have been embedded in us in regards to how a fixed mindset can be almost like a negative mindset. But I think that we have to recognize that we can grow. And as we grow and evolve as people, we have to grow our mindset as well and understand that, you know, they say to whom much is given, much is like, what's the saying? To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, if I'm expecting the greatness of a relationship that's going to be substantial in my life and loving and all the things that I desire, you know, I have to be able to grow personally and understand I'm going to wait and get a partner who's going to grow with me as well. And we have to get out of, you know, kind of putting things on men, because we do understand it's niggas ain't shit. It's some out there that ain't shit. You know, we can't take that away from them.
Right.
But, you know, I ain't going to be crazy now, but it is, there are brothers out there that who want the same thing that we want. And we have to, you know, be open to know that when it's supposed to come, it will come. And also be open to knowing that it may not be exactly packaged how we think it should be.
That's it.
That's
it. The package may not look exactly like we want it to. So I think just overall for the listeners, we have to understand that the wait can be a beautiful thing. The wait gives you a time. And I do think that being single is a time, like they say, you know, it's a time you'll have more time to do things than you ever have before. Whether that be, you know, because once you're married or you have children, you are obligated to your husband. You are obligated to your kids. Your time is taken away. So it gives us time to do many things that we might not be able to do, you know, ever again or have as much time to do. But also, you know, the wait allows us to know what it is that we want and also have these standards that we've talked about where we don't have to compromise unnecessarily just for the sake of having someone, because we know how to fill our own love tanks. We know how to, you know, enjoy our friends. We know how to enjoy life without a man. So once we get a man, it's only going to be a caveat and not, you know, a necessity, put it that way.
Yep.
So I just want to say this has been a great conversation. I think for anybody listening, one thing I do want to say before we close, I want to ask you ladies, do you recommend, because both of you are in a season where you are abstaining from having sex, do you recommend that for people? Do you think it's helped you, like with being more clear on what it is that you want and being more patient? Do you recommend it, or do you think it's kind of like, you know, people got to really just figure that out for themselves?
This is Nikita. I would definitely encourage anybody listening, if that is something that you want to do, to definitely embark on that journey. I didn't think I was gonna make it past the first 2 weeks, right? And here I am at 5 years later. And I can absolutely say that it has definitely allowed me to tap into a different level of not only clarity and self-awareness, but self-discipline and self-control. And I've been able to transfer that discipline and self control into other areas of my life, right? And get more in tune with different things. And so, you know, people don't understand it. And if it was easy, then everybody would do it. But I would say if it's something you want to do, definitely pursue that and do that wholeheartedly, and don't let anybody make you feel bad for that.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And what would you say, Tierica?
Yeah, I would never want to project anything on anyone else, but what I will say is that people need to, if they're going to step into what it means to abstain, or if they're a virgin, just to wait. I would say that they need to check their motives. Like, why are you doing it? Like, what's your intentions behind it? Is it for self-control? Is it for the less risk of catching something? Like, figuring out what it is their motives are. But I also believe in self-preservation. So if you want to preserve your body and your soul, like, that's a great thing to take a step back and abstain, because it gives you discernment. Like, I feel like I'm really loving myself well because I haven't indulged in sex. Have I been tempted? Absolutely. Does my body work? Absolutely. But like, it's just one of those things, like Nikita talked about self-control. I would encourage, because I think that it allows you to see things more purely and with a pure lens versus something that's tainted. And you can really have form a genuine connection with somebody outside of the physical part, but building onto the emotional needs and the mental needs and the spiritual needs, because those are just as important as any other physical needs. So if you want to abstain, I definitely encourage it. I think that it provides a lot of clarity, and self-control and self-preservation. So I encourage it.
Absolutely love it. And I think it's something that, everybody has to has to be clear on why they're doing it, because people do things for different reasons. But I think that ultimately, when you are not giving your body to somebody else, it does ultimately allow you to make better decisions and be more clear. Because regardless of what people say, once you have sex with somebody, many times, not all the time, but many times, some kind of emotional connection or attachment happens there. Yeah. And so you just want to be aware and not having that emotional attachment unnecessarily. So on that,
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even with that, you haven't lost anything. So if you get to know somebody in the process and you're abstaining from sex, you haven't lost anything. You haven't lost a piece of yourself, and your soul not out here being spread around.
Yeah.
Because you preserve yourself to say, like, I want to get to know this person outside of the physical components. So I would encourage it.
Yes. And that's another reason we do encourage it. So on that note, I want to say, a round of applause for you ladies for a great conversation. Your opinions are always valued and appreciated. And I want you all to tell the listeners where they can find you online.
So this is Tierica, and you can find me on Instagram at IAM_royalty4.
Awesome. And Nikita?
This is Nikita. You can find me on Instagram at the Nikita Haynie. And you can also subscribe to my website, nikitahaynie.com. And be sure to listen to my podcast, Straight to It, the podcast. And you can follow us on Instagram at Straight the Pod.
Perfect. And don't you have a book out there?
Yes. And if you go to my website, nikitahaynie.com, you can buy it. It's called Phases, the series. The first book in the series is available on Amazon.
Perfect. And tell them how to spell Nikita Haynie.
Oh, the Nikita Nikita Haynie Haynie.
Perfect. Want to be sure they can find you. So again, ladies, your opinions are always valued and appreciated. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. You all have been awesome. And on that note, we'll be right back with the Montana Minute. And now this brings us to the Montana Minute. The first thing, don't view the wait as a bad thing. It can be a beautiful thing if you allow it to be, because the single season is not a bad thing at all if the time is used wisely. The next thing, be patient. You don't want to prematurely jump into a relationship just because you're tired of being single, because being single is better than being with the wrong person. And the last thing, don't feel like you can't meet new people or be open to meeting new people during your waiting season. Just make sure that you're very selective. So be sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if that's where you listen to the show, and I'll leave you all to decide, to be single or not to be. That is the question. Signing off, yours truly, Shanna Montana.